I'm going to be showing y'all kind of the new way to start recording workover emissions or blowdown information. So y'all have been typically just typing it into this detailed operation summary, shut-in casing pressure, if there's shut-in tubing pressure, and then also the choke size for both of those. So if, you know, the casing blew down 2 minutes, you would see that, and then the tubing. But typically y'all been typing it in up here. We're now going to be inputting that information into this gas emissions field down here. Hopefully this makes it a little bit easier, and it's also just an easier way for us to pull this information for other reporting that we have to send off for regulatory purposes. So on your new report, it should look real similar, and then you'll see this new section called gas emissions. You can just double click in there like you would for your other fields. I'm going to be looking at it kind of in this vertical way. I'm sure y'all are familiar that you can click this little button right here and change the view if you'd rather see it that way, but for this I'm going to be kind of typing it in these columns. So you need to fill in about 4 fields here, so hopefully nothing too crazy. For emission type, it's either was this casing or tubing. So for this one I'm going to go ahead and select casing. And then duration, this is how long did it take for the well to like blow down. So let's say it was 2 minutes. For some reason WellView has it in hours, and that's something we can't really change. So since we record this in minutes, just go ahead and say 2 minutes, but make sure you put it over 60 so that it will change it into minutes for us. So that's 2 minutes over 60 minutes. So that's just saying 2 minutes. Okay. Comment you can fill in if you want, just saying, oh, it only like blew down to 100 psi, if there's just a note that you think we would need to know about this. And then right here, this might be the kind of trickiest part, but since this was we're talking about the emission type was for the casing, there's a casing, the shut-in casing pressure right here, and then there's shut-in tubing pressure right here. Since this is for casing, I only want to be typing in the shut-in casing pressure here. So let's say that was 450, so I'll type that in. I skipped this because that I would fill in once we do the tubing. And then choke size, you'll go right here, you click on this little 3 dots for the library, and these are just the standard choke sizes that we're using. Let's say it was 32 over 64, hit OK, and it changes it to a decimal, which is fine. And then same thing, it changed your 2 minutes to a decimal, which is fine. We didn't have to do the math. Over here, let's say there's a tubing blowdown we need to record. Same thing, you'll click on these 3 dots, click tubing this time. Same process. Let's say this was like 1 minute. So we'll do 1 minute over 60. Let's say we don't want to do casing pressure because we're on tubing now. So we'll skip the shut-in casing pressure and we'll go into the shut-in tubing pressure. Say this was 200. I'm just making these numbers up. And then choke size for this, we can say was, well, just for this example, say it was a different size. So then it converted it all for us, and then you'll just hit save. And you should see this right here. You can see that you did it right. That casing only has a shut-in casing pressure, not a tubing one. Duration, choke size. And then tubing only has a shut-in tubing pressure, duration, and choke size. If I double click it again, just some things to be aware of. If, let's say this was only 3 minutes. If I just typed in the 3 instead of the 3 over 60, and you can see it's going to look like, oh, like it took 3 hours for this to blow down. So just say it was 3 minutes, 3 over 60. Get that changed for you. And that's pretty much it.